But the state of West Virginia right now is in a financial bind. One of the main sources of revenue for the state, tax revenue, is coal mining. And the coal industry right now is in a major decline. So that affects tax revenue. So anything that would be done here would be done from the tax revenues coming in. With that being down, the state is not putting money into this, so we are making it on all the money that we generate ourselves. So anything we do here comes out of what we have generated in profits by operating the resort.
Right. You still need the state legislature, some type of state oversight to approve of the money you spend?
Actually, the way it's set up is as long as it's within certain limits. Now, if we want to do a major capital program, yes, but right now we just work through our partners at the park system, and they're pretty much on board with what we want to do, because anything we do, frankly, goes back to the state. They own it. So if we decide we want to put in let's say a mountain coaster as an example, that's fine. And the state owns it, so that becomes their property. Now the theys and the we's in this, the theys is the West Virginia State Park System. The we is a company called Regency U.S. Hotels out of South Dakota. And that's who the vast majority of employees at Canaan Valley work for. And we are a management company. So we just operate Canaan Valley Resort.
Right. So you're part of the management company as opposed to being part of the government agency
Correct.
that runs it.
Correct. So they pay us a monthly fee to operate the park for them, and that's what we do. So we generate money. We try to make a profit for the state, and then it goes into the state's revenue or into their fund. And that's the money we use to operate the park. And if there's any money left over that we want to do some type of capital project, we take it out of that fund. But it's money that we've generated here on the park.
Right.
Now, the broad question, like if the economy was doing well in the state, tax revenues were up, yes, the state would take money and go to the legislature and say, Canaan Valley Resort needs whatever they need, and then they would vote on it, and then that's where the money would come from to do those projects. But right now, that's not the case.
Right.
Anything we do, we're doing out of money generated by the profits of operating this park.
Right. What kind of an atmosphere is there with a publicly owned resort like yours and privately owned resorts?
Well, it's, how do we say? It's not, they're not necessarily happy
Right.
with the situation. And in the past, let's take, for example, 20 years ago, we put new chairlifts in here. And we put a couple of new slopes in here. We added some more snowmaking. That was done by the state. That did kind of get people's attentions, our competitors' attention. But since then, that's not been the case. Bear Paw Lodge, for example, which is the newest lodge building up there, before the state decided to go to a management arrangement, they used to have a concessionaire arrangement. And the concessionaire was basically, was more involved in this, obviously, but they more or less said, here's the park, you operate it, and the profits you make, you keep it. All we want you to do is pay us a certain percent of all the revenue generated. And so the state made that certain percent, and everything else the concessionaire kept. But in the contract, the concessionaire was obligated to do certain projects. And one of those projects was put Bear Paw Lodge in. So the concessionaire at that time paid to build Bear Paw Lodge. The state didn't. So that was a little bit of a different arrangement. So, once people understood how that worked, it was a private entity that built that, paid for it, not the state of West Virginia. So that was a little bit more palatable for maybe some of our competitors at that point in time.
Right.
But the point is, right now, Canaan Valley Resort is owned by the state, but it's being operated by a private company. And again, all the monies we make, we put it back in to this park itself, and it's not given to us by the taxpayer of West Virginia.